Hey there, this is Alistair from Get Terms. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your cookie banner and add it to your website. To get started, from the overview page, click Cookie Consent Banner and Cookie Policy. Next, input your privacy contact and your best contact method. This will be used in your cookie policy, and then click Add Cookie Banner and Policy. You should be taken to the cookie banner appearance settings. By default, your cookie banner will be set up with our recommended appearance settings and configured for global privacy compliance. So if you're happy with the default settings, you can skip straight to installing your cookie banner on your website. That said, if you want to change the appearance or behavior of your banner, I'll walk you through some of the settings. Before I get started, it's worth noting that every time you save changes, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes before your changes will be seen live. This timer resets every time you update your settings. If after 5 to 10 minutes you're still not seeing your changes live on your website, feel free to reach out to us and we'll help you resolve the issue. Now, most of these settings are quite self-explanatory, but there's a few I want to highlight, starting out with the same style for all buttons setting. So if we click the preview widget button, we can see our cookie banner preview at the base of the window. If I enable this, we'll see that rather than a primary button and a secondary button color, we've now got a consistent button style across all buttons. What this is doing is removing something called dark patterns from your cookie banner. It's not necessarily a requirement for compliance, but it's an option for those that want to be as safe as possible. Next, we have the custom color for update preferences button. The update preferences button appears when your users accept cookies. It's this little floating icon in the bottom left. By clicking this button, your users will be able to update or withdraw their consent preferences at any time, which is a compliance requirement in many regions, particularly in the GDPR. Out of the box, the floating icon color corresponds with the button color of our cookie banner. So if we update the button color to pink, we'll see that the floating icon is now pink. And if we reset the preview function, we can see that primary buttons are also pink. By enabling this, we're able to update our floating icon independently of the button color of our banner. But what if you want to disable this altogether? Well, to do this, you need to head over to the configuration page. I'll take you through all of these settings in more detail later in this video. But for now, all you need to know is to disable the floating icon. You can do this per region by disabling the persistent icon to manage preferences. I'm going to leave this as default because I want to ensure that my banner is globally compliant. Next, we have several appearance options. We've got the card, banner, pill, and pop-up. I always encourage customers to use the pop-up option because it ensures that your users are interacting with your banner before they interact with your website. The last thing you want is for your users to not notice your banner and use your website without providing their consent preferences. If this happens, none of your analytics scripts will run and your analytics traffic will fall off the map. Now, if you want to use a more discreet banner, we do have an option to block page interaction until preferences are set. This just means that your users won't be able to interact with your website until they've provided their consent preferences. For now, I'm going to set this to pop-up and I'm going to disable block page interaction and hit save. Now let's go through the cookie banner configuration page. This is where we control the banner behavior. The first setting is enable Google Consent Mode. If you don't know what Google Consent Mode is, we've got a full guide that talks about what it is, what's in it for you, and how to set it up. But for now, all you need to understand is that this setting enables consent mode integration so that our banner sends the consent preferences of your users to Google platforms. Next, we have region-specific configurations, which allow you to control the banner behavior based on the user's location. So if the user is in Europe, it will use the banner settings configured here. You can see that some of these settings are grayed out. That's because we're using a preset consent setting. We've got several consent settings. The first is opt-in, which blocks cookies until the user has provided consent. Opt-out is the opposite, so our banner will allow your cookies to run until the user withdraws consent or rejects cookies. Next, we've got custom, which allows you to freely disable or enable any of these settings. We've got use global default, which sets this region to follow the settings applied in the global default banner configuration. This is great if you want to control all of your settings from one location. So you can set all of these to use the global default and control your banner globally from here. Then finally, we've got no banner, which hides the banner in that region. I highly recommend leaving all of these settings to the default settings unless you have a deep understanding of global compliance. We also have a few settings that are exclusive to the United States. These are called the global privacy control settings. If you're not aware, global privacy controls allow users to opt out of marketing cookies at a browser level. By respecting global privacy control signals, we're listening to each user's global privacy control settings and applying them with our banner. Show GPC detection notice simply informs the user we're listening to their global privacy control settings. At the time of making this guide, listening to the signals is only required in California, but I recommend leaving it on for all of the United States as compliance regulations are constantly changing and each state has very different compliance requirements. If you're happy with your cookie banner's behavior settings, we can hit save here and move on to the content editor. From the content editor, you can edit all of the wording visible on your cookie banner. This is done on a per language basis, meaning that any changes I make to English US have no impact on the other language translations. We support a number of languages and one custom language, which you can translate to any language of your choosing. From here, you can also change the link to your cookie policy. By default, this is your cookie policy hosted on our site, but you can change this to any link of your choosing. It's worth noting that this drop-down menu has no impact on the language that your banner displays in by default. This is controlled on the installation page. So let's move over to there. From the installation page, you'll find a number of instructions on how to install your banner and update specific settings. To install your banner, you can use one of two installation methods. We always recommend the manual installation method because it's the most reliable for script blocking, but we also offer a WordPress plugin if you'd prefer. There is a third method that uses our Google Tag Manager template, and we have a video guide on how you can set this up. However, that does come with some serious caveats, particularly in how reliable our script blocking functionality works. For now, I recommend using one of these two methods. If you're going to be using the manual installation method, you can control the default language that your cookie banner displays in from this drop-down menu here. You'll see that if I change this to Spanish, that the cookie banner embed code changes to Spanish. We've got an auto language detection feature, which displays the banner in the language of each user's browser. So if the user's browser is displaying in Spanish, it will display the banner in Spanish. If the user's browser language is a language we don't support, it will default back to this language you've set here. To install your banner, copy this script and head over to your content management system. I'm using WordPress. We're going to install our script at the very start of the head section of our website, even before Google Tag Manager. The reason for this is that if we want to block scripts effectively, we need to run our script first. So make sure that you install this above any other script as high in the head section as possible. Now, if we scroll down and save, we should see that when we navigate to our site, our cookie banner appears. If instead you'd like to install our banner via our WordPress plugin, you can do so with these settings here. Now we've installed our banner, let's install our cookie policy. To do this, navigate to the dashboard, click Cookie Policy under Active Policies, and you'll see we give you a number of installation methods, but the Embed Live Policy method is always the one we recommend. Using this method allows you to edit your policy from our dashboard and for those changes to be reflected live on your site immediately. So if we click Embed Live Policy, we'll see our script here. Just copy this and head over to your CMS, and your content editor might look very different to this. Just make sure you're using the HTML editor. So if you're using the WordPress WYSIWYG editor, make sure you're using the text content editor, not the visual content editor. I'm going to add a code block and edit as HTML and paste my code. Then I'll hit save, and I should see that when I go to my cookie policy page that my cookie policy appears like so. And that's it. I've installed my cookie banner and my cookie policy, and my cookie consent compliance is good to go. If you have any questions, please reach out to us via our support channels. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week.